Yeah, welcome. It's interesting. I'm excited and I'm practicing what I will share with you as one of my essential insight of my whole life story. And that's about navigating uncertainty and letting go of control. So I started doing this by letting go of my papers, trying to remember anything what I want to share with you, and I'm having just uncertainty in my mind right now. But I'm plugging in into my soul's connection, and let's see what's coming out of my mouth, what I want to share with you. So I want to ask is if anybody in this audience ever had the thought what you're going to take with you when you need to leave your home in 10 minutes and you don't know if you ever will be able to get back. Great. I hadn't, not once, till life forced me to do. It was on a sunny Sunday in September 2021. I was planting hibiscus on my terrace of my lovely home on the Canary Island, La Palma. And life really felt peaceful and safe. And suddenly there was a roaring, hissing sound behind me. And when I turned around, I saw a big gray column of smoke behind the roof. And that moment I knew that the forecasts about the volcanic eruption that might happen on the island somewhere took place directly behind my home. It was just 1 kilometer away. So I grabbed my laptop, some money, my most important papers, and left everything else behind. Then there have been some weeks of being evacuated where I really lived in limbo. Every morning I started checking the reports about how the lava went overnight so that I could see how it is going to, if it's going to spare my home or swallow it. And then the most challenging was the not knowing, was the uncertainty. And it was something like, when we are like shifting between fragile hope and preparing for the worst case scenario. And then one morning, the waiting ended and the lava had buried my home. So everything was gone. Now I knew one thing, but then the uncertainty took just a deeper level because now I needed to think about how is my life going to unfold? Where am I going to build again? Because the whole village was gone, not only my home. Yeah, so this was a very intense time of profound uncertainty and about how I found a new home in a really magical way. You can read in book 1. And what I find very interesting is that I found out that this fear of uncertainty that was accompanying me through my whole life, because, when I was a toddler, already my life started to be very insecure from moments to moments because I was experiencing sudden separations from my parents again and again. It was recurring. And I developed, to cope with it, I developed a special entity inside of me, which was all the time checking out everything. I was a control freak, trying all the time to avoid danger. And I always tried to stay one step ahead so that I can control everything. And this fear of uncertainty turned out that it's not only my personal weakness. Research shows in different ways that not knowing is often creating more anxiety than knowing, even if the outcome is something that you don't like. But at least you know. I experienced this intense uncertainty again and again. And there was one kind of turning point, it was when I was as a young mother at the age of 27, and my little beautiful son, 1 year old, became severe ill. We have been standing at the bed in the hospital, not knowing what's going on because doctors didn't know what was wrong with him. It took them about 10 very, very long days. We had no diagnosis, we had no plan, we had no certainty. And at that point, something deep inside of me was realizing an essential thing. I cannot control life. I can just learn how to approach it in a different way. And how terrifying this moment was, it was also a turning point, because that was the start of me being really fascinated and interested in psychology and also in all kinds of dynamics our mind can produce, but also to go beyond the mind. And I studied also meditation and mindfulness. I became a therapist, I became a mindfulness teacher, and again, if you are interested in how my son was recovering and also learning something about another very intense phase of my life, which was a heartbreaking divorce after 20 years of marriage, you can read it in book 1, chapter 8. Because today, I'd rather use the time with you here to share some of my most important insights I gained from all these kind of exploring how to navigate uncertainty. And to show it to you, I want to give you a metaphor. Just imagine that you are driving in a car and suddenly you are hitting dense, heavy fog. You cannot see more than maybe 1 meter in front of you. So now we have different options to deal with it. You could pull, or I could pull, to the emergency lane, stopping, being frozen in fear, stuck, not moving anymore. By the way, sometimes people stay there longer than the fog is there. But let's see. Another way would be to get out of the car, start waving, pushing the air, maybe scream at it, trying to fight it, but it's not going to go away. So it turns out that fog is very immune for your personal efforts. You're just getting exhausted at some point. And then there is another way. You can focus on shifting your inner state. You can focus on shifting your mode. And there are 3 steps I want to share with you. One is you take off the foot of the gas, you slow down. Next step is you might switch on the fog lights. And the third thing is that you might listen to the GPS very carefully and then get along step by step, meter by meter. So what does this mean? Because it's the same if you are experience a life-altering upheaval and you are in this phase where the old familiar life is not there anymore and what's coming you don't see. It's not visible yet. So these are the same steps. First, you're slowing down. It's about not racing for certainty immediately. It's about allowing for it and learn how you can pause, how you ground yourself, which I'm doing right now because I'm really nervous. And you can see how you get more space inside of you. That's about regulating your nervous system, and there are very, very effective tools to do so. The second step is about turning on the fog lights And that's about, if you cannot see what is there, you might turn around your view and you might learn to focus with the light of presence on yourself so that you become more and more aware of your emotions, your thoughts, your breath. And you can learn also to listen to your body sensations because your body is a real great instrument for showing you the way. And the third thing, what I love the most, is to listen to your GPS, because here soul-based resilience comes in. And it's about, the GPS here is to listen to your soul's wisdom. And that's not a loud voice. And it's also not having a 5 years plan. It's just here in the present, just now. And you need to learn how you can switch off the noise of your mind, because it's very loud up there sometimes, especially if there is fear. So with that said, I just want to encourage you, if there is any time coming up in your life where familiar structure is breaking down, it might be the end of a significant relationship. It might be a breakdown in your career or a life-altering health crisis. I just want you to remember, you don't need to fight it. You don't need to park on the emergency lane. You can learn to slow down and to really listen to your intuition step by step. And in case you would be interested to learn those skills before you need them, you can reach out to me. Thank you.